Guys, we're going to start a new unit. It's going to be called 3D Maze. At the end, you will have something that will appear to be made in a maze in this fashion, and then all of the theme will be what you come up with on your own. So let's quickly go through the rubric. You're going to create a two-dimensional drawing of a maze, darken the grid lines on the back page. Like I did here, I drew my maze in here on this flat 2D grid, and then I transferred it onto 3D looking maze on my workpiece. Second one, I'm going to create a 3D drawing using pencil, two-point perspective of a maze from the two-dimensional drawing, which I just showed the two pieces together. You'll demonstrate your skills and artistic intent by adding shadow and your own ideas, door, wall, and you need to add theme to this. So you'll have your own theme. It can be anything from circus, carnival, medieval theme, castle, that sort of thing. Number 4, student will demonstrate the sense of artistic whole by adding people and landscape. The landscape should be part of the theme. And I also want you to add and using your time wisely on that section. And then you can define the vocabulary words on the back, which should be review for us. Bird's eye view, what that means to you in your own words. The horizon line, vanishing point, and eye level. Okay, so for day 1, I'm going to lay out just the basic part of the maze, and we'll start with a horizon line at the top of our paper. Okay, you don't need to put that in, but I'm just going to add that stuff so when I talk about it, we know what I'm talking about. And then the vanishing points are on the ends of the horizon line. Our horizon line is high because we are looking at this from above, from a bird's eye view. Okay? Our maze that we're going to be drawing is 8 squares one way and 7 the other. So I like to start this a little bit off center on my page. And this will be the front wall of my maze, and I'll go to my left vanishing point from that vertical line. It is really, really important that our vertical lines are all parallel to one another. It'll look really goofy if you remember when we did our Rambler, that if the vertical lines were not all parallel, it really made things look strange. So there's the back of my maze. These two lines are parallel, and this has got 8 squares going this way and 7, so this side I will make a little bit shorter and add that in. So this line could be gotten rid of, and this side, get rid of that. So next we need to make the back side of our maze, and we will go from this left back corner, and we'll draw back, and you can go all the way to the vanishing point if you'd like, or if you know that you're going to have a cross or an intersection, and you can go the right back corner back to where that meets up, and that will give you the back of your maze. So again, this line went to here this time, this vanishing point, and this one went to this vanishing point to close this off. Okay. Next part is we want to have a wall thickness before we put our segments in. So this can be whatever width you'd want. In the front, it should be relatively the same from here to here, wall thickness, but note as it goes away or falls away, it gets smaller. Your back wall thickness might be almost non-existent when you get to the back part of your maze. All right, so now we have a wall thickness to the outer part of our maze. And again, we'll refer now back to the 2D maze on the back, or the grid. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we're going to set this up in segments, we have to put 7 lines going this way to give us our eight boxes. So the first one is going to be our largest, and then they will get smaller as they go back. 5, 6, and then 7. As you can see there, got smaller as we went, and those lines can now be drawn to the vanishing point on the opposite side of the page. I would make these lines light, because once you draw your maze in, you're going to have lines that you're going to need to erase. So if you go super heavy with your pencil, you'll have a lot of erasing, and you'll see it, and it'll be hard to cover up. Okay. So now we're going. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. So we know that we did that properly. The left side has got 7, so we're gonna have six lines. So I'll make my first one about that same width. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, they get much smaller as they go away, and we'll go to the opposite side. Make sure you keep lining up the dots. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we have 8. So that matches this one. So now that we have this finished, I want you to go ahead and draw your maze. I want you to start your maze going into this section. Don't have big openings. Make sure that there's multiple ways to get lost in your maze, and have this ready for the next class, where we'll transfer this maze onto this. We'll erase, put our wall thicknesses in, make it so you can see your walls, and at that point you'll be able to pick your own theme, and you can start decorating it. You'll be able to do this piece with either markers, colored pencils. If you wanted to paint it, you could, and we'll go from there. So if you have any questions, please let me know.